Hello, I'm veteran script supervisor Daniela Saioni coming to you from Toronto, Canada. Today I want to talk to you about a question professional script supervisors get asked a lot by directors over the course of their career, sometimes several times a day, usually before the director decides to move on from a scene. Am I covered? What they're asking is, do I have the shots I need to tell the story visually in a way that will cut together smoothly? They ask their script supervisor this question because we are the editor's representative on set, and we should have an understanding of how and whether the coverage will cut together, and also whether there was enough physical matching on the part of the actors in the scene to give the editor enough flexibility in post to have multiple choices to make edits that don't look sloppy. So, how do we know the answer? Because we're magic. No, it's actually because we're continually editing in our heads so that we know what continuity issues to flag as being more or less important enough to bring up to the director as shooting progresses. And we are trained to be highly aware of what the cutting points in a scene are most likely to be. Now, if you don't yet have these skill sets as a script supervisor, they're of course hugely important, but the good news is they're also highly learnable. I give my script supervision students, who I call my director whisperers, extensive training in coverage and editing theory, which I believe is why they tend to excel in the profession. Another way to learn these skill sets is, of course, by editing films yourself, or at least by sitting in with an editor as they work with the footage you have script supervised and asking what you could have done better. Even though I did start my own career in post-production, once I was a script supervisor, I sat in with the editor during the earliest years of my career regardless. Now, there's a deeper implied part of that question, am I covered, that goes beyond the technical and into the visual storytelling. So not every director will want to hear you on this part of the answer, but that question is, am I missing a vital shot that tells the story? Look, most directors will invite and even value your thoughts on that because you know how to communicate this with them effectively, and it will be one of the main reasons that they take you with them from project to project. However, there's a whole art on whether and how to bring up creative issues like this, which I also, of course, go through extensively in my program. But what I can say in a short video is this. Having an understanding of the director's craft will help you answer this aspect of the question skillfully, which is no small task because there's really no right answer since art is subjective. And yes, even television is art. The answer definitely has nothing to do with did we get every line on camera in multiple sizes, because that is not what the art of filmmaking is, or even television is these days. Formulating a useful and intelligent answer to that part of the question relies on you, the script supervisor, having knowledge of what the dramatic subtext of the scene is. Because there is what the scene is about on the surface, but then there is what is the scene really about underneath it all. Because what the scene is really about will help you understand what shots are missing, if any. If this is really a scene about two people falling in love, for example, is that clear in the coverage, or do we need close-up reactions revealing their inner world when they are not speaking? Or are we missing a key insert on a piece of information that changes everything for a character in a scene that the audience would also need to understand? There are many different ways a director can tell the story of a scene, and you can back them up on this by helping ensure they got across what they needed to get across in the coverage so that no pickups or reshoots will be required, and so that they have a positive experience in the editing room. You'll sometimes get those thank you calls or emails when they do. It's rare, but it happens. Along with understanding what the scene is actually about, you also want to have an understanding of the director's visual style, which is hopefully something you discussed or researched in prep. All of that measured with your understanding of what can be realistically achieved cinematically within the time allotted. When you work on a TV series, there's an extra layer of understanding the visual style the showrunner prefers as well. Knowing all of this can help you give an informed suggestion to the director if they ask. Often, we get crunched for time on set, and if your director created a shot list, they might also ask the DOP and yourself your thoughts on what the shots are that they can cut from the plan. This is a preemptive way to ask the "Am I covered?" question. Really, the question they're asking here is, what can I cut from my plan and still tell the story of the scene visually? As script supervisors, we need to achieve a level of fluidity in our understanding of visual storytelling so that we can engage quickly and effectively in these conversations with our directors to become one of their allies on set that has their back while also saving the producer time and money, which is one of the original reasons our role on set came into being in the first place. If you want to hone your skills so that when the director asks you, "Am I covered?" or "What shots can I cut?" or "Will this scene even cut together at all?" you can answer with confidence. Consider taking my "Am I Covered?" program. It's the first half of my Director Whisperer training program for international script supervisors, which is also available separately since directors often take this class to get stronger at designing their coverage and communicating their vision to the crew, as well as learning axis of action and editing theory. And sometimes script supervisors who need to hone these skills to become stronger at their own craft or who want to transition to the director's chair also take this program as a standalone. If it's currently available, I will post the information below this video. In the meantime, let me know what other topics you'd like me to cover and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see me do more filmmaking and script supervision content. Happy shooting!